All right, guys, so this is going to go through just how to create what's called an XY scatter graph. You can see in my title right here. It's set up just basically with what we're doing in class. So in the file that I give you, you already have this in your spreadsheet. So number of protons, number of neutrons. So what I'm going to do is just fill in the first few numbers with that. So just going to like the first 8. These number of neutrons aren't necessarily completely correct. I'm just kind of going through and filling in numbers. So we get that. All right, so you're going to fill in your data. Basically, you'd fill in for all the data for all the numbers that you guys found. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create the chart. So to do that, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag. I'm going to highlight all of my data. So once my data is highlighted, then I'm going to go over here and find this button right here, which is Insert Chart. I could also do it under Insert, and you can see Chart right there. But the quick way is just Insert Chart right here. And the nice thing is that Google Sheets kind of creates a graph already for you. Now, we don't want a pie or a bar graph like you see here, or what Google calls a column chart. Instead, we want to change that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this chart type. I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to find Scatter. We don't want bubble chart, but we want the Scatter chart. So I'm going to click on that. And then I get what's called an XY scatter, where it just plots the individual points of my graph. All right. Now, we're going to customize it a little bit, not a ton with this one, but so I'm going to go over here to customize. And when I do that, I have a number of different things that I can choose from. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the chart title. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, Chart and Axis Titles. I'm going to make sure the type of that I'm going to change is the chart title. So if I click here, I see the horizontal, the vertical, but I want the chart title. And then I'm going to rename this the proton to neutron ratio. Right? So once I have that, you should see it changed over here on my chart as well. All right, the other thing that we're going to change is, so I can click then back on here, that goes away, is I'm going to change my legend. So we don't need this. We only have one set of data, so we don't need this legend necessarily. So I'm just going to go to legend, the position, I'm going to go to none. We don't need any legend. All right, whoopsie. Accidentally click off, just go up here, 3 dots, click on that, edit chart, that menu should come back up. Last thing then that I'm going to do is just my grid lines. So if you notice, there's not a ton of grid lines on there, so it can be difficult to sometimes read what the chart is telling us. So when we click on grid lines, you're going to get 2 options, vertical as well as horizontal. It's defaulted with the vertical, so let's change that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the major grid lines. It's set as auto. Let's go ahead and change that to 5. And so you should see I get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my minor grid lines, I'm going to go ahead and change to 4. All right. I'm then going to click here, horizontal axis, do the same thing. My major grid lines, I'm going to change to 5. I should just get more grid lines there. My minor grid lines, I'm going to change to 4. Right. And then I should get a nice grid pattern on my graph. All right. Once I'm done with that, I can simply click off of it or click here, exit, and I have my graph. Only other thing then that we should do, let's go to customize our chart title. Let's go to chart subtitle and let's put our name. So your name there so you know whose it is. All right, because we're going to print these off. So the last thing then that we're going to do is you're going to click here. We're going to move this to its own sheet. Basically, that's going to make it nice and big. And then we're going to go ahead and print your chart. All right.